Nani has proved me wrong this entire season. Nani, I take everything back, except for the moment when you had that ugly cry face when you was hugging Casey. And no, I can't take back the fake scenes between you and her, because they really read fake to me. Even though, we're talking about real life, it's just it read fake. But I'm never gonna talk about her teeth anymore. She is badass. Like, what's going on, beautiful people? It's your boy here, Wesley from A Connection TV here on YouTube, the one place on the World Wide Web where we actually adopt similar connections despite our differences. And welcome to my channel. If this is your first time seeing me, I don't know where you've been living, but definitely follow your boy because I'm kind of funny. Follow me on my social medias, Twitter and Instagram at A Connection TV. And also, I have a lot of things going on. All the links are below, but I'm gonna tell you right now. I got a clothing store, an online clothing store. If you like t-shirts with graphics on them and great sayings on them, go to my online clothing store, actvshop.com. Also, I run a miniature Netflix, okay, for indie artists. So if you're a film director and you have completed work, if you're a writer and you have completed work, or if you're an actor and you want to be involved with the indie process, definitely hit your boy up and also be entertained by my platform. Watch actv.com. We're going to talk about season 75 of the challenge, episode 233, okay? Yeah, this is a great episode. It was a really good episode, and let's just get into it. The name of this episode is Friends or Froze, and obviously we're going to be talking about the challenge, or at least they're talking about the challenge in the title. But I'm curious about why it's titled this way, right? Anissa and Jordan are back in the house. They made it through, okay? They sent home Casey and what's the boy named Kenny, and they sent home what's the boy named Chauncey. Chauncey and Amber. They've just been sending people home left and right? Shout out to Chauncey and Amber, who are expecting. Yeah, shout out. And apparently Chauncey and Amber are going to do a couples OnlyFans. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I don't really want to see Amber like that. Like, I don't really want to see Amber like that, but Chauncey, I would like to see Chauncey in motion, because all Chauncey does on his OnlyFans is pose. He doesn't really do what a lot of the other people do. Let's segue real quick. Because I was having a conversation with Jay. I believe it was with Jay. And, he was talking about how, I don't know how we got on the topic, but how, a lot of these people that do OnlyFans, they don't really do too much. And then they charge an arm and a leg for their OnlyFans. And he was like, I ain't paying for that. He was like, I could just go to such and such sites and be seeing the stuff that they post on OnlyFans. And I was like, oh, dang, they really got it like that? And then he sent me one person's OnlyFans in particular. And literally, they have everything that person posted on OnlyFans on the site. And I was like, ooh, damn. I was like, oh man, like that's jacked up. I mean, I know a lot of people don't know about the sites, but all Jay did was boop, 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 and everything came up. So I was like, I wonder if it works like that for if it works like that for everybody. Because there's a lot of people out there that got OnlyFans, and I'd be curious in their OnlyFans, but I don't feel like paying their OnlyFans price. A lot of these people are ridiculous with their price. Like Chauncey is $30. And his pay-per-view is like expensive for like 2 seconds. You get like 2 seconds of footage, and you got to pay like such. It's ridiculous. But I mean, I'm not subscribing back because I know he doesn't do anything on his OnlyFans. He's a great body, but I like to see the booty kick in motion. I don't like to see. Anyways, we got on the top. We were talking about, people that do OnlyFans can't make it on TV. And there are a lot of individuals that do OnlyFans and that get canceled from their potential television career because for whatever reason, television doesn't want people that do OnlyFans. I'm confused by that. And so we were discussing like a lot of the challenge people that do OnlyFans. There are a lot of people that do OnlyFans that haven't been welcomed back because of their OnlyFans. And then in my mind, I'm like, Devin been doing OnlyFans for like 2-3 years. And he's been on practically every season. So I'm like, I know MTV knows he does OnlyFans. I know they know. They love Devin. Devin just did a spoof or a commercial for Are You the One? Or I Found Love on the Island, whatever that show that he did is. So he's still on TV and he's still a regular. I've never subscribed to his OnlyFans, so I don't know what he does on OnlyFans, but I know that he's on OnlyFans and he's still getting booked to be on TV. And yeah, so I don't know. I don't know what that's gonna give or what that says for a lot of these other individuals that are on OnlyFans. But it's interesting. It's just interesting. I don't know why I talked about that. Oh, I mentioned Chauncey and Amber. They're starting an OnlyFans and they're pregnant. Anyways, let's move on. Anissa and Jordan had this conversation about the fact that they're still in the game and they've been working hard to remain in the game. Anissa's talking about how she feels more validated about her feelings within herself, and she's confident, and you know, she's ready to get to this final and she's ready to put a win under her belt. I think they're doing a great job with disguising who actually wins the final, because you can't really tell in these confessionals. I want to say that I feel like Olivia and Horatio do well, but I also thought that Fessy and Mariah was going to win because the way that they were talking in their confessionals. But I don't know. I'm really curious about who's going to win. Johnny is having conversations with the fact that he's played it real low key this particular season. He hasn't really ruffled feathers outside of the footage that we didn't see with him and Nelson. But, you know, yeah, he played the low key game. He got in the saddle with Mariah. We get a scene of them stretching each other out, and you know, he's right underneath her buttocks. And yeah, I'm pretty sure they've gotten cozy in the sack. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I would just imagine, right? Because Johnny is that kind of guy. He's not known, or he is known for, you know, schmoozing the ladies. But anyways, we then get a clip of Fessy, Jordan, and Devin talking about Bananas, like Bananas needs to go. Bananas has been in this finals, have won 7 times, and he shouldn't be here. He's never seen an elimination, and he just needs to go home. On one side, I agree with that, and then on another side, I don't. And we'll get into further discussions about the concept of it a little later. Tori and Devin, aka Dave, have a spa day, and I thought it was really cute how Devin asked if the cucumbers were organic because he doesn't want any pesticides in his eyes. Very interesting. I'm wondering if he's really like that in real life. But their conversation is regarding around him wanting to go to his 3rd final and wanting to win, and Tori wanting to make it to a final and win, right? And so there a lot of this episode is filled with these types of conversations. Then we get to Fessy and Mariah, and Fessy says something. Well, he always says something that rubs me the wrong way, but he says, I've been on the show for a couple seasons, or something along them lines with a couple seasons, and I feel that it's time for me to win. In my mind, I immediately think about Nelson. I immediately think about Corey. I immediately think about Leroy, Cam, so many people that have made it to finals and have not won, or have been, Nani have been wanting to get, Anissa have been wanting to get to these finals and just have not won. And this dude says, and they've been years and years and years, and this dude says, I've been here a couple of seasons and I'm ready for a win. Oh man. Mariah in this conversation says that she wants Tori and Devin out. I don't know where this kind of energy came from. Maybe it's because she's allegedly smashing Johnny, or has a thing for Johnny on the show, and I don't know, she doesn't really care about Olivia Horacio like that because they're rookies and they're cool, and maybe she doesn't really care about Anissa, but it's just like, oh, I want Devin and, you know, Tori out. I'm a bit confused by this. And then finally, Olivia and Horatio come on my screens, and I'm like, yes, some fresh energy. I love Olivia and Horatio. They were a blessing to this season and refreshing to watch. And I don't know, when they come on the screens, I'm like, whew, a sigh of relief. I like Anissa and Jordan, but you know, I do. I'm gonna leave it there. And Tori and Devin, okay. But you know, in terms of like freshness and just good, authentic, untainted, unbiased energy, I get that from Horatio and Olivia, and so I'm championing that, you know. And it just, I don't know, for me it's just great to see them on the screens. And you know, they're having this discussion about Johnny, who has skated by, and he they want to make a big move and they want to make it to the final. They get to the challenge called Frozen Senseless, and Olivia is like ready. She's like, I'm from Alaska. I know how to handle the ice cold. This is nothing for me. Everyone has a little spiel on what they want to do or whatever. But none of that really matters, because in the end, Tori and Devin bring in the win. And I'm like, wow. Like you see where experience comes into play, and you see how a good partnership comes into play. And Devin and Tori wins. They're the sole team that's completely safe. Everyone else has to be thrown in. And the rest of this episode is about who do we want? Who do we want? Do we want Johnny? Do we want Fessy or Mariah? Who do we want? Who do we want? Who do we want? And everybody's going back and forth with it. The interrogations were dope. But before the interrogations, we get to Johnny speaking to Wes on the phone. He has to get advice about how to handle the current timing of the game, and Wes gives him advice. This is typical. It's interesting that Johnny has mended his rivalries with Devin and Wes, long-time rivalries, and we get the clip of when Tony betrayed him during the elimination and sent him in, and Devin sent him home. So it's just an interesting dynamic. And the reason why I like the show so much is because you have these fostered relationships that you followed over the seasons, over the years, and all of that history plays into the challenge when we get to the challenge. So it's like if we get a whole new challenge of just like fresh meats, if you will, there's no connection for us in the audience. So I'm loving the fact that we're throwing these nostalgic moments, these old beats into the show. We get to the interrogations, and I thought it was extremely smart how Olivia and Horatio mentioned that they saved Devin and Tori, which they did. And they also mentioned that we're going to save Anissa and Jordan if we get the safe dagger. Smart. I love Horatio and Olivia. Then we get to Anissa and Jordan. They already know they're not going to be the, main pick because of the relationship that Anissa has with Tori. It is what it is. I'm loving the fact that this wasn't a Jordan versus Tori situation all episode. So tired of that storyline. Devin wants Johnny. Tori wants Fessy is the issue. Fessy says, I've never said your name in all of the seasons, the couple of seasons that he's been in. He's never said Tori and or Devin's name. Tori asks Johnny, who would you save in the draw? Johnny says, Devin. I wanted to come to this game with you and smooth things over. Johnny plays a very smart game. Very, very smart. And he's mentioning how they've mended their ways and how, they've gotten close and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, all this is great. All this is great, but who do we really want to go home? That is like the decision of the entire episode. Who do we want to go home? They go to the club. Everyone's talking about, who do you want to throw in? Fessy keeps bringing up the fact that, 7 wins. And at this point, I fast forward to the challenge, right? I fast forward to the challenge because I'm like, this is a lot of fluff. We get to the challenge, and Tori and Devin says Fessy and Mariah. And to be honest, I'm here for all of that. I'm here for all of that. This is the reason why I'm here for all of that. I'm here for all of that because Fessy doesn't deserve a win. He is a horrible person on TV. And on all of the edited shows that I've watched with him, he's just a horrible person, not humble, not kind-hearted. He played Nelson. He thinks the world of himself in terms of being like a god. He's just not a likable person to me as a viewer watching these edited shows on TV. I fancy Johnny way more than I fancy Fessy. And Johnny is an asshole, like complete butthole all the way through, okay? A hairy butthole that hasn't wiped in 17 months. That's what Johnny is. And so if I'm saying that I like Johnny over Fessy, you already know what I think about Fessy, okay? It sucks that Mariah is tied to Fessy because I love Mariah. I think Mariah has everything that I would want Fessy to have. Fessy's just incapable of having that. In terms of like humbleness and just being a good heart person, like just doesn't have that. And Fessy and Mariah killed the mini challenge. They did. Johnny and Nany bombed that challenge, if you remember. And they were horrible at the puzzles, if you remember. And so when I think about the longevity in a challenge, I'm like, my mind is get rid of Fessy and Mariah. Mind you, they cannot hack it in a food challenge, But that's their only weakness, is that. That's their only weakness. We know that Nany is weak in food challenges. We know that the both of them have been weak in puzzle challenges. So there's more of a leg up with Johnny and Nany tied to the hip together. Just saying. Just saying. So in my mind, I'm like, this makes complete and utter sense. But it's still a luck of the draw, because even though Fessy and Mariah go in, who are they going in against? And I just knew that Johnny was going to pour the safe dagger because they went up first. In my mind, I'm like, the producers tell him what to pull, it's rigged, whatever. But he pulls first and he doesn't get a safe dagger, he gets blank. And then Horatio and Olivia go and they get the safe dagger. In my mind, I'm screaming down Boots, because I'm like, okay, here come the music, dun 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 dun. What are they gonna do? Whoop de whoop de woo. Are they gonna save Johnny and freaking Nany, or are they gonna save, Anissa and Jordan, who have said their name before? Granted, we just saw this thing about Olivia loving Anissa and Anissa loving Olivia, and we'll see what they'll do in the end, because, things happen, that kind of stuff that they want to do to mislead us. And when Horatio goes to say Anissa and Jordan, y'all have thrown us in before, but we're not going to throw you in this time. I was like, ooh, stop playing with me. Stop playing. It was so good. I love Horatio. Horatio had a moment during the challenge, froze senseless, whatever it was called, where he was climbing up under the plank, that was on the ground. They had to dig his way out. There was a scene that I believe that the cameraman was gay. There was a scene where Horatio came up and you just saw this plumpness on his back, and when he came out, it just bounced, and the editor put it in slow-mo. Maybe it was the editor, but the editor put it in slow-mo. Whoever the editor is, thank you. Mwah, I love you. Because Horatio... Baby, I already know. It's always an amazing thing when you get a nice little booty cake on the screen, baby. And it'd be ooh. Anyways, so Horatio saves Anissa and Jordan, and Olivia was caught off guard. Like, she wasn't about to decline. Like, she was like, oh my God, I just was wondering what you were gonna do. Like, girl, you wasn't about to decline the offer. Like, I was so confused. But anyways, is Janani versus Fessraya. And stupid, I know. And I'm like geeking, because this is like the battle royale. This is like battles of all battles. Like, this is what I want to see. I'm so excited for this. Like, let's go, right, in my mind. And I'm like, who's gonna win? And then I look at the challenge, I'm like, this is a balancing challenge. Fessy ain't winning this. Fessy will never be the Avatar. Fessy will never be the last airbender. Like, Fessy will never Like, he will never have balance, because he's imbalanced in the mind. The way he treats people, his soul, his spirit is too heavy for the ropes. So I already knew he was not winning this. So in my mind, I'm like, how they gonna, when they gonna finalize the challenge? Like, are they gonna do who gets the highest, or are we gonna stay here for 5 hours before these people climb up here? When I tell you, there's a reason why I give Johnny respect. There's a reason why Johnny has won 7 times, right? This elimination proved that. And then I'll go a little further for you. I have nothing else bad to say about Nany. I don't. Nany has proved me wrong this entire season. Nany, I take everything back, except for the moment when you had that ugly cry face when you was hugging Casey. And no, I can't take back the fake scenes between you and her, because they really read fake to me. Even though, we're talking about real life, it's just it read fake. But I'm never gonna talk about her teeth anymore. She is badass. Like, Nany is freaking badass. Like, there is nothing you can say about her. There's a lot you can say about her, but I'm not gonna say it. She's badass. Like, what? And then Johnny, you have to give him respect. You just have to give Janani respect for getting through this entire elimination and making it go. And Nany killed it. That save with the pole at the end, she caught it with her feet and she pulled it up, and she did that, and she told him to shut the hell up because she was trying to focus. And the fact that Johnny big ass made it all the way to the top. Like, again, I have to give both of them respect. I have nothing ill will to say about them until they do something ill-fitting. But yeah, this was a great episode. And then, you know, TJ tells them that they're all making it to the final. And to be quite honest, they deserve it. They deserve it. All the teams that are left deserve it. I mean, let's talk about it. Janani skated all the way through. It's not their problem that y'all didn't want to throw them in. It's not their problem. They won a challenge. They handled y'all, and they skated all the way. It's not their problem. It's not their problem. Then they get thrown in at the very end in a very tough elimination, and they both make it. They deserve it. They deserve it. Anissa and Jordan. I mean, come on. This whole show has been about Jordan and Tori and their relationships and the drama of it all. Anissa, her big ass, like we've always thought that she wasn't gonna make it. She always get kicked out before the final. She never, I don't know when the last time she made it to a final. I can't keep up with the stats, and I'm not looking at Challenge Wikipedia. They went in an elimination against Laurel and Jack, I think was his name, or Zach, whatever his name was. And they won. Anissa won against Laurel. Like, what? Like, all of the eliminations they've been in, they've come back. Deserve it. Tori and Devin, they won when it needed. They won when they needed to. They had their alliance when they needed to have their alliance. They've been doing relatively good overall, and they won a challenge when it counted, like when they needed to. Deserved. Had Devin and Tori been in an elimination? Did they? I can't remember. I don't recall them being in an elimination. I guess they were, but when were they? I don't know. I can't recall it. But anyways, deserve to be there. And then Horatio and Olivia, forget about it. They've been thrown in numerous freaking times. They've won, come back, even though they were helped by the stage. Their tenacity, their veracity, they're just dope ass rookies, and they've not skated through, but they've made it through. Social game was on point. Clearly their social game is on point. I think all the teams belong there, and I'm so happy that the teams that left. I think the only other team that belonged in this final or making it to the final was Nerys and Nelson. Period. They deserved to be in that spot, but they couldn't cut it, so they're not. It is what it is. But anyways, let me know what you think about this. Who do y'all think is going to win this 100-hour freaking finale challenge thing? Let me know what y'all think. Leave your comments below the video. And what team do y'all feel deserves to be in the final that is not here? What team do y'all feel? And are you happy that Fessy and Mariah are gone? Fessriah, are you happy that Fessriah is gone? Let me know. Leave your comments below. Thank you for watching. Deuces.